Um, so I have a couple things I want to talk about. I was on a Mr. Ballin roll yesterday. I just watched Mr. Ballin all day. He's just it's like just all these little stories, and they're always just fascinating. And a lot of the missing 411 stories, like if you are a conspiracy theorist, which I got called because I said that aliens were real, Bigfoot's real, and the government's lying. So, anyways, what the fuck was I gonna say? That's a great way to start. Forget what I'm talking about as soon as I start. Well, that just goes right to what I was just watching, Mr. Ballin, because the algorithms are now. It's basically all I have that shows up is Mr. Ballin. I've started watching some that I've already seen. And I won't know it for a long time because of my brain injury, because I feel like things are like Swiss cheese. Like, only it's the opposite. That the holes are the memories. The cheese is the blank space in my brain that is just like, and the holes are the memories. So you just capture these little snippets, like a snippet of a day, and you have no reference. You can't remember anything else about it. Sometimes you can't remember who you were talking to. You just remember you said this, or it's weird. And so this one I was just watching, Mr. Ballin, he was talking about this actor. The title is something about what happened to Katy Perry's boyfriend or something like that. And so this guy, I remember him off of Sons of Anarchy, and he left the show because it got violent. I quit watching because it got violent. So, it was a guy who had integrity as far as I'm concerned. And, so he was a nice guy. He was successful. He was making a lot of money, and he was, he decided he wasn't going to keep doing that. He wanted to work on a book. Anyways, in his story, he ends up getting a brain injury and is just, I'm not even finished with the story yet, but he starts, totally deteriorating really fast to the point where it's almost like he seems schizophrenic. And this is where I talk about, like how they're all kind of get lumped together, because once you mess with stuff inside the brain, which the brain is very complex, but it also is it's a receiver. So, that's why I talk about people who have schizophrenia and stuff, and they're talking about, yeah, devils and angels are talking to me. Listen to them. They are. Just because these people are panicking because we don't tell them, like, yeah, there's people out there talking. So in this one where the guy has gone, like he's just totally lost control of his mind. One of the things is that I feel so thankful for my brain injury. It could have been so much worse. Oh my gosh. I just feel really, really fortunate. And it's funny because the other things I'm going to talk about completely link to this. So, I'm going to make this point more and more point about the voices and stuff like that. So, I feel really lucky. I got too much stuff piled out of the remote. So, I feel very lucky and fortunate, to only have the injury that I have. Because I feel completely like I'm still a productive person. I'm still living a great life. I'm happy. And, but I know that a lot of other people have a lot more struggles. Like a brain injury can come in so many different ways. And, I feel lucky anyways. So, in this one, the guy is doing really bad. I don't know what ends up happening. I'll finish it and stuff. But, no matter what your injury is that happens to you, or whatever even happens, emotional injury in your life, it could have been a lot worse, honestly. Things could always be worse. I mean, there's worse things happening to people. So, and, whatever we go through, our souls designed this for us, we're the puppet, the avatar for our soul that's playing down here. So your story was what, you're trying to learn from. It was like we're the little ventriloquist dolls for our higher self, And, but in another one, this one got me really excited yesterday. I was dying to talk about this one. Was So Mr. Ballin, and it was a woman, and I don't remember, it might have been in one of his, because he has a bunch of them, that it's a bunch of short stories, so it might have been in that one. But in it was this lady, and all of a sudden she starts hearing talking in her head. And when it very first started, they kind of came in like, sorry, we didn't want to do it this way, but, we needed to make contact with you. You have something seriously wrong with you. You need to go to a doctor. And she's just like, what the fuck is happening? She was like totally terrified. Like, who's talking to me? Where are you? And they just said, again, you need to go to the doctor. You've got something wrong with you. And so she goes to the doctor, and, she tells them, she gets sent to the psychiatrist and talks to them. And, they just tell her, you've got auditory hallucinations, it's not that crazy. Yeah, auditory, yeah, the ones you hear. And so, you'll be fine, blah, blah, blah. So she's so relieved after these appointments and stuff that she goes to the beach with her family to go on a little vacay. And when she gets there, and they start talking to her again. And now she's like super panicked because they're telling her, you've got something wrong. You need to go home right away. You need to go to this address. They give her an address. And she's just panicking. Her husband's just like, calm down. It's just the voices. You can ignore them. And she's like, no, I know. I've got to go. And so they pack up from their vacation and they head back home. They go to this address. And when she gets to the address, it is a brain scan place. So now she's just like, okay, what the hell is going on? There's something wrong. So she goes in and she says, in my head, they're telling me I need to come in here and get a brain scan. And they said, okay, that's great, but you got to have a doctor's order. So she goes to call her doctor, and the psychiatrist says, okay, well, there's nothing wrong with you, but I'm going to order it just so you can calm down, so you can relax. So she goes in and gets it. And, they had already told her too. The voices had already told her what was wrong with her. And did they? I can't remember. But she goes in, and then the voices, or whatever, she goes in there and she finds out she has a tumor in her brainstem and it's causing swelling. And so then they say, well, do you want to get it taken out? And they tell her all the bad things. And, maybe it's fine. No, don't worry about it. And she goes, no, take it out. And gets the surgery right then and gets it taken out. And then she goes home and the voices tell her, you did the right thing. It was a good idea, or it was good you took it out. Thank you. Nice to meet you. Bye. And they never came back. This is what I'm talking about with the voices. They're out there talking to you all the time. And sometimes, in some people, they got to fucking speak up, because there's so many people who aren't listening. They're so caught up in this illusion of what's happening in front of them that they can't connect with, your higher self. And your higher self, or your ancestors, your guides, they have to, scream at you sometimes. Sometimes they have to put a car in front of your car and make you hit it to slow you down, because you're going the wrong direction and you're going full speed. They come up with ways to communicate with us because we're not listening. So you got to listen. And that just totally cracked me up, that she started hearing them. I mean, I don't know, suddenly if they would have started talking to me, when they started talking to me, I was little, I didn't question it, and they've always talked to me, and they've always told me things to protect me. They've always told me things to take care of me. I know they're on my side, and, they're always there. And, another thing too, is if you think about, like, ancestors, and I talk about death and stuff like that. So you think about, like, right now, if you died right now, this minute, done, you're gone. That's it. You go up there and you're looking at your review and you start seeing all these interactions you had with these people, and you feel their pain of these interactions. You feel their pain from these interactions. You feel how you affected other people. So then, you can't fix it. You can't say, I'm sorry. You can't do anything. Oh, the frustration. You're bound now you've left your body. You can't do it. And you can go in, you can try and communicate, but they can't hear you. They can't see you. They have no awareness of you. So you can go back in, you can see, like, oh my gosh, well, I did this, and then they did that, and this happened, and that happened, and then it just affected their family for, generations. And I caused that with this one thing I did. Then you go back in, and there's so many people who do these things in their own families that's their attachment to us. They're attached to us because they want to fix their stuff, and they do come to you, and they are trying to help you. They are trying to build you up and get you on the right path, and help you to understand yourself, to give you the best experience possible while you're incarnated. And a lot of them want to change the way they affected their lineage. And right now it's super powerful, and there's a lot of them out there. And it just cracks me up still with the TikToks, with the people with their ghost activity. Oh my God, could you just imagine how many of them, it's a grandparent who's standing there opening and shutting the drawer or something, just cracking up. When I was talked to that medium, remember when I was having those problems? It wasn't problems. It was just a lot of weird coincidences that I was like, okay, this is weird. There's a hand. And my dad had just died when I wanted to talk to him. So I went to that medium, and I ended up talking to all my grandparents. But my one grandma, the feisty one, the nurse, the one who, she led me in my direction of my my job, because she was able to, take care of her family and rise up and stuff as a nurse. So, I followed her path, but she was what somebody would call like a cranky old lady, and she drank, but I could always see through that. She put up a facade, but I could see through it. And I saw her soft, gentle, sweet side, but she had a hard barrier. And anyways, when the medium was talking to her, it was so funny because they all hated the person who I had just split up with. Nobody liked him. They wanted him out of my life. They saw he was bad for my life. I had to see it for myself. But I had family around me who could see it, who were just like, pulling their hair out. Come on, girl, wake up. What are you doing? And it was so funny because she said, do you want me to go and haunt him? It just is so funny because even the medium just started cracking up. And it was so funny because my grandma was just never, like that. But that side of her now, she's free from her walls. She's freed herself. And that side of her gets to just shine. And I love it. And it just cracks me up. But yeah, how many people are being haunted by somebody who loves him who's just cracking up? Because that's, I see these stories, of these entities and stuff coming and getting these people. I don't know, how, a dark spirit comes out from under people's beds and chokes them out. And know that, it's got to be part of when you go into that dream state, because they can only do it when you're in that other, whatever, beta, delta, theta state, whatever, when you're in that state. That's why they do those things where they freeze you. What's that called? When you are sleep paralysis. And that's when they can communicate. That's when I got attacked by mine, but I could sense he didn't have power. I knew what he wanted to do. I could feel him. I could feel his energy. And he was smelly, sweaty, hot. and I could feel all that, but there's nothing you could do. So I don't know, you know, it seems to me like in that show Evil, when these demons and stuff are constantly coming in their dreams to communicate, and the people get really caught up in it. And one of the girls, she starts being like, these people who are being attacked by these ones, they kind of know the spiritual realm. So then they have little tricks to figure out, like, am I dreaming? So that they can know, because you feel so awake, because it is real for your consciousness. So if your consciousness is being attacked in this other realm, yeah, I do believe that you could ultimately die, because it depends on how much you believe this stuff, you know. And another thing, I have so many things that I want to, I'm just going to start back real quick, because I've got so many other things I want to link to this. So hold on just a sec.